This is the story of the Battle of Alartsos, a battle so decisive it would change the face of Europe forever. It's me. Welcome to my channel, where today we're going back to July 19th, 1195 AD in the Iberian Peninsula. The Moors had ruled almost all of the land since 711 AD, save some small Christian enclaves up north. But in recent years they'd been pushed back by a Christian coalition known as the Crown of Castile and Leon. Tensions were high, as the two sides prepared for another clash. Meanwhile, across the Straits of Gibraltar in North Africa, a new player was rising to power. The Almohad Caliphate had seized control of most of modern-day Morocco and were eyeing the Iberian Peninsula with interest. Sensing an opportunity, the Almohad Caliphate decided to intervene in the conflict, sending an army to aid their fellow Muslims in Spain. As the Christian army approached, the Muslim defenders prepared for battle. Their army was a formidable force, numbering around 25,000 men. At their head was a brilliant military strategist, Abu Muhammad ibn Hudayl, who was eager to prove himself on the battlefield. Across the valley, the Christians were readying themselves for battle. Their leader, Alfonso, the Eighth of Castile and Leon, was a fierce warrior with a burning desire to conquer the Iberian Peninsula. His army was also a force to be reckoned with, boasting around 40,000 troops. But despite their larger numbers, the Christian army was inexperienced compared to their Muslim counterparts. The stage was set for an epic clash of civilizations, a battle that would have far-reaching consequences for the course of history. Now let's jump back in time to experience the battle firsthand. The sun beat down on the Almohad army as they marched through the dusty plains of Spain. Their leader, Abu Muhammad, rode at the head of his men, his eyes fixed on the Christian forces in the distance. The two armies were separated by a wide valley, but the tension between them was palpable. As the Almohads continued their march, scouts from the Christian army relayed information back to Alfonso. He knew he needed to act quickly if he was going to defeat the Muslim invaders. With a determined look on his face, Alfonso signaled to his troops, and they charged across the valley. The ensuing battle was one of the largest and most brutal of its time. Both sides fought with unwavering determination, each blow of the sword echoing the clash of two great civilizations. The Christians, led by Alfonso, charged into the fray with their heavy cavalry. Their lances plunged forward, seeking to pierce the enemy ranks. But the Almohads were ready for them. As the Christian cavalry thundered towards them, the Muslim archers unleashed a volley of arrows. The air was filled with the thud of arrows finding their marks and the shouts of wounded soldiers. Despite the incoming arrows, the Christian cavalry kept pressing forward, hoping to break through the enemy lines. But the Almohads stood firm. In the thick of the battle, Abu Muhammad watched intently, his mind racing. He knew his army was outnumbered, but he also knew that his troops were better trained and more experienced. All he needed was a chance to exploit the Christian weaknesses. Spotting an opportunity, Abu Muhammad gave the order for his elite troops to flank the Christian forces. With lightning speed, these highly trained soldiers moved around the battlefield, appearing behind the Christian lines. The element of surprise on their side, the Almohad flankers attacked with fierce intensity. Christians, caught off guard, struggled to defend against the sudden assault. On the other side of the battlefield, the Christian infantry engaged the rest of the Almohad army. Swords clashed and shields buckled under the relentless assault. But the Almohads, though fewer in number, fought with the heart of lions. Amidst the chaos of battle, Alfonso found himself surrounded by Almohad soldiers. The situation was dire, but Alfonso, refusing to yield, fought like a cornered lion. His knights, though weary, stood by him, forming a bulwark against the Muslim onslaught. They fought with a ferocity born out of desperation, each swing of the sword echoing their defiance. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Abu Muhammad ordered his elite troops to come to Alfonso's aid. As the Almohad soldiers arrived, the tide of battle began to turn. The Christians, now facing a stronger, more relentless enemy, started to falter. In the midst of the shifting fortunes of war, a critical moment arrived. A large contingent of Christian reinforcements, led by the valiant warrior Diego de Lara, joined the fray. The arrival of these fresh troops bolstered the Christian ranks, injecting renewed vigor into their fight. With the battle hanging in the balance, the appearance of Diego de Lara proved pivotal. His strategic acumen and martial prowess played a crucial role in turning the tide of the battle. The Christians, invigorated by his leadership, rallied and fought back with renewed determination. As the battle raged on, the fate of both armies hung in the balance. The casualties mounted on both sides, the ground littered with the fallen. But neither side was willing to yield. The Battle of Alartsos would be a test of endurance as well as skill, a true battle of attrition. But the relentless pressure from the Almohads began to take its toll on the Christians. Despite the valiant efforts of Alfonso and his knights, the Christian forces started to show signs of fatigue. The longer the battle dragged on, the more difficult it became for them to withstand the continuous attacks. Seizing on the Christians' wariness, Abu Muhammad ordered a final, decisive charge. His troops surged forward, their battle cries echoing across the valley. The Almohads attacked with everything they had, aiming to end the battle once and for all. As the Almohad soldiers pressed their attack, the Christian ranks began to crumble. The valiant defense that had held for so long finally gave way. The Christians, exhausted and demoralized, started to flee the battlefield. Witnessing the crumbling of the Christian lines, Alfonso realized that the battle was lost. With a heavy heart, he sounded the retreat, signaling his knights to withdraw from the field. The Christian army, though defeated, managed to escape total annihilation. News of the defeat spread like wildfire across the Iberian Peninsula. The Christians suffered a devastating blow, their dreams of conquering Spain dashed. The Almohads, on the other hand, were celebrated as heroes, their victory at the Battle of Alartsos resounding across the Muslim world. But the significance of the Battle of Alartsos extended beyond the Iberian Peninsula. It reverberated throughout the Maghreb and beyond. The victory solidified the Almohad Caliphate's position as a dominant force in North Africa and established their influence in the affairs of the Iberian Peninsula. The aftermath of the battle saw the Almohads consolidate their control over southern Spain, extending their dominion into the heart of the Iberian Peninsula. This territorial expansion marked a significant shift in the political landscape of medieval Europe. The battle also had profound cultural implications. The clash of civilizations, while marked by violence, also led to an exchange of ideas and customs. The interaction between the Moors and the Christian forces resulted in a blending of cultures that would leave a lasting impact on the region. In the wake of the battle, the Almohads faced a new challenge, maintaining control over their vast territories. The administrative and logistical complexities of governing such a sprawling empire tested the limits of their resources and institutions. Despite these challenges, the Almohads managed to establish a relatively stable rule over their domains. They implemented policies aimed at integrating the diverse populations under their banner, fostering a sense of unity and identity among their subjects. Yet the seeds of internal conflict were already being sown. Tensions simmered between the various ethnic and religious groups within the Almohad Caliphate, setting the stage for future fragmentation and upheaval. As centuries passed, the memory of the Battle of Alartsos faded into legend. Yet its impact on the history of the Maghreb and Spain remained profound. The clash of arms that day in 1195 had consequences that echoed through the ages, shaping the cultural, political, and demographic landscape of the region. The Battle of Alartsos stands as a testament to the complexities of medieval warfare, the clash of civilizations, and the enduring impact of one fateful day on the course of history. Thank you for joining me on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to subscribe. I'll see you next time.